Hey sis, it is your girl Rocky. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to have you. Here we talk about hair, beauty, skin, nails, and just overall health and wellness. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button because this channel is growing rapidly and I definitely want you to be a part of this sisterhood. So take a moment and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell. Now today I have a topic that's kind of hard for me to discuss with you because it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest with you, but I recently started using natural deodorants. So for the past 2 months, I transitioned from using deodorants with aluminum to just full-time using deodorants that were aluminum free. And I had a really bad reaction to these natural aluminum free deodorants, and it was really challenging to deal with for me personally. Like if I smell or if I feel like I stink or something like that, it really affects me and it affects my positivity and it kind of affects my whole day. So it was really hard for me to handle the way my body was reacting to these natural deodorants. Let's get into this video. I'm going to start from the beginning and explain everything. So recently, I would say within the past 2 years, I've been trying to move my life in a more natural direction and remove more of the chemical-based products out of my life and move more towards products that are made with natural ingredients, plant-based ingredients, like move away from eating meats and dairy and pharmaceutical products, moving more towards holistic ways of doing things, using products that are, like I said, plant-based and just more natural, drinking more teas, trying to kill ailments naturally. And one of the things I have a big goal of doing is removing deodorants that have chemicals that could potentially be harmful to me and my body and my system. So I really have been on a quest to find aluminum-free deodorant. So for the past, I would say, 1.5 years, I have been using aluminum-free deodorants, using them only at night. I was too afraid to use them full time. So in the daytime, I would use my aluminum deodorants, and then at nighttime I would use my aluminum free deodorants, and that way I could give my body a break from the aluminum and that whatever chemical processes it may be doing that might be harmful to my body. The last 2 months I decided I just wanted to bite the bullet and go completely aluminum free, so I was using aluminum free deodorants night and day. And the first week, I would say, went really well. I didn't have any bad side effects. I felt like my deodorants were doing their job. I wasn't getting any odors. I didn't feel like I was perspiring profusely or anything like that. Everything was just going fine. And then by the second week, that's when the downfall started to happen. I started to notice that I would be more damp under my armpits by the end of the day, and I mean, I still wasn't having an odor. The deodorants were still doing their job in terms of keeping me feeling and smelling fresh, but I was starting to experience some dampness. And then by the third week is when it really started to go downhill. By the time I got to work, my armpits were no longer just damp, they were literally drenched in wet and very uncomfortable for me. And by the middle of the day, I could start to smell, well, I wouldn't say that I smelled, but I felt like I wasn't as fresh. Like the deodorant was starting to disappear and it wasn't being effective anymore. So the more wet I was, the more it seemed like the deodorant disappeared and the effectiveness of it was wearing off. I just didn't realize that I was actually a stress sweater. So I do experience stress sweat. When you use most aluminum based deodorants, the aluminum isn't in the deodorant for the odor. It's not the deodorant aspect of it. It's actually the anti-perspiration aspect. So it helps to reduce perspiration and it helps you to not perspire. So that is the job of the aluminum in the deodorant, anti-perspirant. What the non-aluminum deodorants were doing were they were giving me the anti-odor aspect of it. So there wasn't like an odor, which they say is usually caused by bacteria, but there was no anti-perspiration. There was nothing to fight the perspire that came in stressful situations. And a lot of times in the morning when I commute, sometimes certain days I would feel more wet than others. So sometimes I would perspire during my commute, and then by the time I got to work, deodorant would have just disappeared because there was nothing to prevent the perspiration and there was nothing to protect me from perspiring. In stressful situations, there are some mornings that are just more stressful than others, you know, because sometimes I might wake up late, I might be running late, or something happened and there was an accident that's making me run late, and I just feel this sense of like anxiety because I'm late and I have to call my boss and let him know, hey, this is going on, I'm gonna be like 5 minutes late, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. In those type of situations, even though I don't consciously try to stress myself out, I try to like stay mellow and be like, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna get there when I get there. It's not a big deal. Sometimes you're late. If it's not a consistent thing, like, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. It's not like it's my habit to be late. There was circumstances in my way that made me late, but regardless of what I was telling myself mentally, my body still expressed the emotions and the effects of the stress and produce perspiration. That was something I can't control. Stress, sweat. It's just the effects of my brain, regardless of if I'm talking myself out of it or trying to keep myself in a mental mind frame. There are parts of my brain that I can't 100% control. So when I do get in stressful situations, it makes me perspire. So I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna just keep riding through this. I'm gonna give it a few more days, and then if it doesn't get better, I'll figure it out. So I did. I tried to, you know, see if maybe the next day it would get better, and every day I would end up with armpits that were like soaked because at some point in the day something stressed me out and I stress sweat, and you know, it just happened, and I would end up with wet armpits and my deodorant would disappear, and I would start to feel self-conscious about it, and that would make me stressed even more, and then I would sweat even more, and then I would just feel really uncomfortable throughout the day. Like, literally, there was some days by the time I got to work, I had already sweated off all of the deodorant, and then I was stressed because I sweated all the deodorant off. And I work in healthcare, so I'm constantly working with patients, and I'm around people, and I'm talking to people. And in healthcare, personal hygiene is very important. You don't want to wear like overly scented perfumes, you don't want to smoke, you don't want to smell of any type of alcohol, you don't want to have bad hygiene habits. You want to make sure you're always fresh, clean, and professional. Whenever you're working in a healthcare setting, you want to come off like very calming, especially when you work in a stressful situation. You're the patient's sense of calm. So if internally I'm just like overwhelmed and stressed out because I feel like I smell, do they smell me? Do I smell myself? Like, I'm in this like constant, like in my head constantly like worried about if I smell, and it's just like, no, I don't sit in a cubicle by myself all day. Like, just, I don't sit at home by myself all day, and I don't work in an environment where, one, I can smell, and two, I can be stressed about smelling, because that's just not gonna help. That's not gonna work in the line of work that I do. I have to be calm and cool for my patients so that when they go through the procedures, they're calm and cool and relaxed. So I like my aura and the vibe that I put out to be very mellow and reassuring. So I found that in the last few weeks that I was using the deodorant, in that third week that I was just very stressed out, and internally I was internalizing this sense that, oh my gosh, I smell, can people smell me, do I smell myself? And I was constantly like checking and like, do I, and then it was just overwhelming. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to the store and I'm gonna buy the deodorant and I'm gonna carry it in my purse, so that way when I sweat I can just reapply the deodorant, and then even though it's like, you know, anytime I sweat, it kind of just disappears. At that point, I can just apply more, and then if I sweat again, I can apply more again, and I'll just be fine because it's aluminum free, it doesn't have chemicals, it's really healthy for me. So that's just what I'm gonna do. So I went to the store, I bought an extra one, I kept it in my purse. I would reapply it by the time I got to work, and then again pretty much by lunchtime. And so I was applying deodorant maybe 3 to 4 times a day because, you know, during the commute, I might get stressed. During my work day, if a procedure was really hard or took a lot out of me and I felt a sense of stress from it, I might sweat. And then just like if the day was hot, You know, if it's a hot day, I live in California, sometimes it's like freaking 103 degrees and I might sweat. Like, I was applying it like 3 to 4 times a day, and I was like, okay, you know, I have to keep reapplying my deodorant, but at least I feel fresh, I smell fresh. I didn't have that sense of anxiety. So that did relieve the sense of anxiety. You know, I was still stress sweat, but I wasn't feeling anxious about it. Like, I understand sweat is a natural action. Like, you're supposed to sweat. Your body has pores to release the sweat and allow this excess water to escape for whatever reason. That's the body's natural function, and I'm okay with that. Like, you know, I'm okay with the body doing what it's naturally supposed to do, as long as it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, it doesn't give me anxiety, it doesn't make me smell. Like, I'm totally cool with a little dampness under my arms. You know, it is what it is. So at first, for the week that I started carrying the deodorant in my purse, so at this point we're on week 4, the week that I started carrying the deodorant in my purse, you know, everything was fine. I wasn't feeling like I was smelling, I wasn't feeling overwhelmed. I was still, you know, come home and my armpits would be damp. Throughout the day my armpits would be damp, but I was okay with that. I was okay with the body performing how it's supposed to perform naturally. Like, that's totally cool with me. Do what you gotta do. If you need to sweat, let it out. You know, that's all you. Do what you gotta do, pits. But by week 5 and 6, I started to notice my underarms started to turn black. I'm like, oh, okay. By week 5, they were just starting to discolor a little, and I was just like, this looks off, but it didn't look like weird yet. So I was like, this is strange, but whatever. By week 6, my underarms were turning black. Like, I have a photo of it. I'm gonna give you a warning. It's not very attractive. Like, armpits in the first place aren't attractive, but then when your armpits are turning black, it's really not attractive. So watch at your own discretion. Just, you know, learn from this lesson. But yes, my armpits started turning black and they started feeling really uncomfortable. They weren't burning or itching, but they were sensitive. Like, if you can see in the photo that, like, I clearly have little hairs, obviously. I wasn't able to shave. The razor would be like taking sandpaper to my skin, and like, it hurt so bad to shave. So my armpits were turning black. I couldn't shave. I was stress sweating all the time. Now I wasn't stress sweating because I was worried that I smell. I was stress sweating because my armpits were turning black. And I'm like, what the? Okay, so by week 6, my armpits were turning black, and I was just like, what the is going on? Like, but I didn't give up on it. I said, you know, it kind of looked like it was like a sunburn. The way I can explain it is, like, it looked like it was a sunburn. Like, I had burnt my skin, and my skin was kind of peeling and in the healing phase. So I thought, oh, maybe this is just like a new skin type of thing. Like, maybe the old skin is gonna peel off, and then once all of the skin starts peeling off, my skin will turn back to its original shade, and it will heal, and I won't have any more problems. It'll just look how it's supposed to look. Nope, it just kept getting worse. And by week 7, I was like, okay, obviously this is a side effect from applying the deodorant to damp armpits throughout the day. Applying it 3 to 4 times a day was producing some type of reaction. I would say an allergic reaction. Like, it was burning my armpit. It felt sensitive. So applying the aluminum-free deodorant to my armpits throughout the day on slightly damp armpits was creating a reaction that burnt the skin under my arms. The skin would burn, and then it would heal, and it would peel, and then I would do the same process again, and it would burn, and then it would heal, and then it would peel. But throughout the process, they were getting darker and darker and darker. Pretty much by week 8, I just was like, nope, I'm not doing this. You know, I want to live a natural lifestyle. I want to live the best way I can, but at this point, I don't think there's enough research on aluminum-free deodorants for me to wear it full time. So by week 8, I switched back to using a aluminum-based deodorant during the day, using an aluminum-free deodorant at night. The problem is, I'm like a consumer to the max, and like when I buy stuff, I don't just buy one and try it. I buy a lot with no experience in it, and I'm like, oh, I like this one, I'm gonna buy it. I like this one, I'm gonna buy it. I like this one, I'm gonna try it. So I have like 5 aluminum-free base deodorants that it will probably take me, 2 to 3 years to get through, because I only use them at night, and it's not like you got a glob deodorant on. You slide up, you slide down, and you're done. So I have all these aluminum-free base deodorants that I can only use at night, but I expect as people become more aware and people use their voices to say, hey, we don't want aluminum in our deodorant, the research is going to get more broad, and we're going to eventually find aluminum-free deodorant that's going to actually be able to have an antiperspirant in it as well. And then once that happens, I will gladly join the aluminum-free deodorant band again. And I'm also still on the quest. Like, I'm not just giving up and saying, oh, I'm not going to use aluminum-free deodorants anymore. No, I really want to find something that works for me. But I just wanted to let you know, like, if you're experiencing the same thing, like if you're a stress sweater or if you sweat easily, using a aluminum-free deodorant is going to be a bit of a challenge, because when you sweat, it kind of reduces the deodorizing effect of the deodorant, which gives you odor and pretty much eliminates the reason that you're using the deodorant, which is to reduce odor. Like, you could keep baby wipes in your purse and like wipe off throughout the day, all day, every day, and then apply more. And like, I just don't have the time in my schedule or in my life to be focusing on my armpits all day. And I honestly don't want to be thinking about my armpits all day. I don't want to be feeling self-conscious that I smell. I don't want to have anxiety about it. I don't want to like put my patients in a situation where like, I stink and I'm like, all up in their personal space stinking. On healthcare, a lot of times your interactions with the patients are very close quarters. So yeah, I really am looking forward to this area of personal hygiene growing and expanding, and I'm going to keep using products. But right now, with the experience that I had in the last 2 months, I can't use aluminum-free deodorants full time, just because I do stress sweat and I can't really control that. It just happens when it happens, and I'm not able to reapply deodorant without it giving me an allergic reaction. So I do still feel a sense of needing to use an aluminum-based deodorant during the day, and then at night, like, you get night sweats and stuff like that, but for the most part, like, I don't stress in my sleep. So at night, the aluminum-free deodorants are really good. It gives my armpits a break from the aluminum. I do want to go over with you the products that I used, and also if you are using any aluminum-free based products and you're able to go a full day without it leaving you feeling wet or leaving you with an odor, please comment down below the brand. Okay, so the first aluminum-free based deodorant that I've ever used was from a brand called Milk and Honey. So this is the Milk and Honey regular strength number 9 lavender and tea tree deodorant, and this is actually one of my favorite aluminum free deodorants. But the thing is, this particular deodorant is made with coconut oil and shea butter, and because of that, when I would sweat while using this, oils would seep into my clothes and it would leave an oil residue stain on my clothes, and and then when you lift your arms, it looks like you have like a sweat stain, and it's like, no. So this deodorant actually kept me dry, but it produced an oil stain on my clothes, and that's not cute. So I only use this at night. I don't use this during the day, strictly because when I do sweat, I don't want to have sweat stains. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So my main aluminum free deodorant was from this brand, and it's called Love, Beauty, and Planet. And I really like this brand in general. They started off with hair products, so like shampoos and conditioners, and then they transitioned into lotions and body soaps, deodorants as well. And I really love the way this brand smells. I bought all 3 of the scents. So I have the rose scent, I also have the lavender scent, and then I have the coconut scent. And all of these smell divine. This is actually the deodorant I was using when I started to experience the allergic reaction. This was the brand that I was using when I transitioned to full-time deodorant. Like, I tried this one and it only took me 1 day to see the stain on my scrubs for me to be like, nope, I'm not doing that. But this is the one I used for like 8 weeks, and my armpits started to turn black, and I was like, no. Oh my gosh, like, I would be hanging out with my boyfriend and I couldn't even put my armpits up. I'd be like, don't look, it's so ugly and black. Oh man. Like, you're gonna ask me like, girl, what happened to your armpits? And I'd be like, I was so dramatic. Like, sometimes I would just be like, he'd be like, you're okay, you don't smell. I don't smell like that. Like, I feel like I smell. Like, I had so much anxiety. And then when they started turning black, like, I just literally was losing my mind. Because it's just, when the weather gets hot, you like to wear like sleeveless shirts. 1, you don't want to smell, and 2, you don't want to have black armpits. Like, good. I lost it. Anyways, and then the other brand that I was using was from Native. This is Native deodorant, and this is the coconut and vanilla scent. And this one also has coconut oil and shea butter in it, so it does produce like that oily residue. So I wasn't able to use this one full time either. So like I said, I've been trying different brands. I've been really on a hunt for the perfect aluminum free deodorant. I just haven't come across it. And then the week that I officially was like, forget this, I am not wearing deodorant full time anymore, was the week that I seen a commercial for a Secret. They actually created an aluminum free deodorant, but I haven't even tried it yet. Like, I literally bought it, and then a few days later I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm not even. So I have so many that I have to use because I'm only using them at night. I don't even know when I'm gonna get to this one. And this might be the one that could last a full 24 hours, but I don't know. Or at least last 12 hours. Let me not even say 24 hours, because deodorants with aluminum in them can't even last 24 hours. So at least last a full 8-hour work day, so about 12 hours. This could be the one. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but I bought it because at the time I was still like, in my night, like, I go through these stages where I'm like, oh, it'll be okay, it'll get better, and it really has to get bad before I'm finally like, oh no, oh no. So yeah, I haven't even tried that one. I have 6 aluminum, no, I actually have 7 aluminum free, because I also have the extra strength version of this. Haven't even opened it, but yeah, I have a lot of aluminum free deodorants that I will only be using at night. So I do want to show you my favorite aluminum based deodorant, and it is also by Secret. Secret is my favorite brand of deodorants. I just love all their scents. They always smell good. They always work good. This is what, you know, I decided to go back to now that I am back into using this during the day. And this is the Secret Cool Water Lily. Smells so good. I just got this, so yeah, I'm back into using aluminum deodorants during the day and aluminum free deodorants at night. That is the way I'm doing it, and I feel more comfortable. I don't feel anxiety. Like, I don't, when I sweat, because it's an antiperspirant, it covers me, it protects me, it allows me to work and not feel a sense of anxiety and not put those vibes out there to my patients that why is she, you know, why is her, if they pick up on, not everyone picks up on vibes anyways, like some people do, some people don't, but if it happens to be a patient that picks up on vibes, Like, I don't want them to feel like the energy that I'm putting out is anxiety before I'm about to work on them, because they don't know what I'm anxious about. They don't know that I'm anxious that I smell, or I'm anxious that, you know, my armpits are wet and I feel uncomfortable. Like, it makes me feel really uncomfortable to smell in any way. I am so big on personal hygiene, and it's not just because of my profession. It's actually something that was instilled within me from my mom, because if you've seen any of my like skincare videos where I talk about my mom and her influence in my skincare regimen or anything like that, you know that she was very, you know, kind of strict on making sure you're taking care of your skin. She created a skincare routine for me when I was like, you know, 9 or something like that, where it was like, this is what you use to wash your face, this is what you use to moisturize your face, this is, you know, the process you do to make sure your skin stays healthy and hydrated, this is what you do to reduce dark marks. You want to make sure you always keep your elbows moisturized and don't lean on things, put your hands in your face, don't touch your face, don't do this. Like, it was always like, you know, she was very aware and always talking to me about how to keep your skin nice, how to minimize wrinkles. Like, that was part of growing up. And then, you know, I haven't gotten into personal hygiene too much. I have gone over with you, you know, how to properly clean your neck, and like that was really something she emphasized, was like making sure you scrub the back of your neck, make sure you scrub behind your ears. You want to make yourself, you know, presentable, not necessarily for others, but to feel good about yourself. Like, personal care is personal love. Like, self-care is you loving yourself. You love yourself enough to put time and energy into yourself and into the way you look. Like, that was her kind of a model in personal hygiene. So just smelling anywhere, like, it makes me feel anxious. If you have like a belly button and it's not clean, it stinks. And like, I don't want to be walking around with a stinky belly button. Like, there's things like that probably to most people they wouldn't like notice, but I noticed it because like personal hygiene, like I said, was so like important in my childhood. Or like things like when you take your earrings out of your ears, if there's like little debris on it, your earrings stink. Like, you got to take alcohol and a cotton roll and clean your earrings. And that's why, you know, you don't want to wear fake jewelry, because like you can't clean it properly. And it's like this whole thing in my head where like odors give me anxiety because I don't want to smell. So going 2 months with, you know, armpits that could potentially smell made me really, really uncomfortable. And I know I keep saying that, and to some people they're gonna get it and be like, girl, I totally feel you, I understand how you feel. And then to some people they're gonna be like, you just are doing too much. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You're supposed to sweat. Your arms produce sweat for a reason. Like, it's okay. No, I don't. It's not okay with me. So, like I said, I had a lot of anxiety. It made me feel uncomfortable, and it just, you know, it was a hard 2 months for me, you know, personally and then professionally, wondering like, am I making patients feel uncomfortable? Am I producing an odor? Can they feel my energy? Like, can they feel the anxiety that I feel, which would give me more anxiety? So it was a bad cycle. I've recycled, you know, my negative feelings, my negative vibes. I've removed them and I've replaced them with positive feelings, positive vibes, reassured myself. I have self-assurance, and I've put myself back into a routine that makes me feel comfortable. And I really hope this video reaches someone who has similar experiences. Maybe it's not necessarily with deodorant, but you know, they try to do something that's for the betterment of their external health, or even their internal health. They throw something else out of whack, their mental health or something like that. Like, it's okay to not go through with it. Yes, would it have been beneficial to just be aluminum free? Totally. But if it messes something else up, no, it's not worth it. I just recommend finding a balance. Like, if you can, you know, stay away from products that have chemicals in it that may not be the best for you, do it. But if you can't, if you gotta do what you gotta do, just, you know, stick with what works best for you in your lifestyle. So if you like these type of videos, please give this video a thumbs up and also comment below. And if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and join my sisterhood, because you know, I would love to have you. I want to create a community of positivity and of sisterhood. So excuse me. So please join. I'd be happy to have you. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something new. As always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to me, because I'd love to have you. But until next time, see ya.